Hello and welcome to the next episode on ABAP on Cloud come RESTful application programming model training. In the last episode, we discussed about setting up our first trial account in ABAP on Cloud in SAP Cloud Platform. We have discussed about the strategy for Cloud Platform and how it is used for us. And then we have created our first class. That class was showcasing a simple hello world on the UI. Now, in today's episode, we will go ahead and create a scenario in our package which we created in last class. And that scenario includes creating database tables and then populating the data in the database tables and then learning about the CDS views. So let's get started. So as you all know, as a BAP developer, whenever we start with developing something, the very first thing which we start is the database layer. The database layer includes all the data artifacts which are related to the which are going to use to store the data. So store of all the data including data types is considered to be the database layer. In this area we have data elements, we have domains, we have tables, we have structures, we have table types, all these different types of data types we can declare, and all of this in the past we used to create them in SC11 transaction code. But now with ABAP on cloud, as you have already observed, we don't have SAP GUI. So where will we create these objects? Of course we will be creating using ADT, ABAP development tools on Eclipse, which we installed in our last session. Now on top of these we have something called our API layer, so-called application programming interface layer, API layer, or your processing layer. In this we will write all the application logic which includes all the data processing, which includes input output, which includes all the um, calls to the external system, and this will be also doing a DML operation on the database layer. So this is our API layer. All your select queries, all your loops, ifs, buts, everything will be written in the API layer. Now with the introduction of SAP Fiori, we have got another layer out there, which is actually your service layer. These days we also create service layer now. So this I'm telling in the context of past programming. I mean most recent programming which you would have learned in ABAP on HANA training or SAP UI5 training. So here is where we have our OData services exposed. You will typically build these OData services via something called DPC extension class, or you will build something called consumption CDS views which expose at the rate OData.publish. These are all the things which we have learned in the past classes, past courses, actually not classes, past courses which you have taken. About this, finally we have our user interface layer, so called our UI layer, and this UI layer finally contains our Fiori application. This UI layer can be a Android application, this can be an Angular JS application, this can be React JS application, it can be a JSP page, it can be a portal, it can be Launchpad. That's your UI layer basically, which knows how to talk to service and pulls the data and shows to the user. So typically this is the flow in any company whenever you're developing any application. These are all the different layers and the flows which you follow. All right. Now coming to the important part, we wanted to understand this DB layer. Today's episode will focus on this. But now you say, Anubhav, we don't have a C11 access. How do I go and create DB layer? So that's where the concept of CDS comes into picture. CDS stands for Core Data Services. This concept comes very handy. So what do we mean by CDS? CDS stands for Core Data Services in ABAP system. This is an enhancement or extension of SQL. Okay, this is an extension of SQL. What does it mean, extension of SQL? What your SQL can do is what CDS can also do. Am I clear? What your SQL can do is what your CDS can also do. Which means, what is that our SQL can do? Our SQL can query data, it can create new database tables, it can delete a database table. So all of that will be done by CDS. So CDS is an abstraction over the SQL layer. This is one of the best way to achieve code to data paradigm. What do we mean by code to data paradigm? So if you all know the three-tier architecture, so-called application layer, presentation layer, and database layer. So we have this application layer, which is nothing but your ABAP layer. This is your database layer, and now the database is SAP HANA, and this is your presentation layer. So this is a quick repeat for those who have not attended my my ABAP on HANA course. So as you can see, this is our typical layers which we have it. Now, when it comes like SAP HANA is a very powerful in-memory database. By the way, just a quick update. We are launching and starting today SAP ABAP on HANA course. If your friends and colleagues are interested to join that course, I would humbly request all of you to please share a link which I'm sending it to you. Please share with them so they can also attend the free demo session today with us on ABAP on HANA. I'm just sending you the calendar invite link. Please, I would humbly request everyone to forward this to your colleagues in your company. Yeah, so that will be a really great help for me if you can forward this to your teammates in your company, those who are willing to attend this free demo. So just you have to make a mail and send this invite to them, this calendar invite to them, and then they will get notified automatically once they add this in their calendar invite. So this is a request from my side, please do that. So let's go back to our topic. So now this is what we learned in ABAP on HANA. So basically the underlying database here is HANA. Now, when it comes to HANA, it is a really powerful database. It can do things which your traditional DBMS cannot do because it keeps all the data in RAM. So the kind of paradigm in which now these days we are coding, we are trying to push down more and more processing logic to the database layer. And CDS is one of that technique which actually helps to push down this logic, whatever processing logic earlier we used to do. Like earlier our paradigm was read data in the ABAP layer, and all the data processing was done on the ABAP layer then, right? So this was our earlier process of programming. So you used to read data and then you do loop at ITAB, and then all the processing you used to do on the loop at ITAB within the ABAP layer. But now this paradigm is changing, so we are pushing down more and more logic to SAP HANA because it's an in-memory computing engine. It has large processing power. It can do tasks in parallel. It keeps all the data in column store, keeps it in the RAM. It has processing speed. It has connectivity with multiple nodes. It does compression very well. You will avoid extra transfer of data between these layers, unnecessary transfer of data which causes system load. That's why we are pushing down now these logic to the HANA. So CDS is one of the best practice to push down this logic to HANA, which allows you to now achieve code to data paradigm. So this is called code to data paradigm, was covered in our ABAP on HANA course, but those who are not attended, maybe a quick brief for all of them, or just those who have attended, a quick recall for all of you. So now what's happening is we are developing CDS. So using the CDS, this code to data paradigm can be achieved. Now, what are all CDS can do? So CDS can do DDL. DDL stands for data definition language. which is related to creation and alteration, create and change database objects like tables. All that CDS can do it actually. Changing the table, creating table type, all that CDS can do. Structures, everything CDS can do. Maybe you have not seen this till today because in our ABAP on HANA course, we have actually focused not on this part, never ever focused on this part. But trust me, now from today's class onwards, we will focus on this also because here we don't have SAP, so we have to use CDS way. So many people has this myth that CDS only be used for data viewing purpose. No, CDS can be used to create also your data objects, not always only and only for view purpose. All right, can create new objects. So that's what we will be experiencing. So then next is offering from CDS is DQL. DQL stands for data query language. So when you are doing CDS for data query language, that's when it becomes a CDS view. It becomes a view actually at that point of time. So what happens when you create a CDS view? It actually creates a view inside HANA DB, which means all the processing of that view is being taken care within HANA, and whatever final result is produced, that is being sent to the ABAP layer. And this is to be very precise called ABAP CDS view, because you are going to create the view, define the view definition in ABAP layer in the middleware, and when you activate, a view gets created in the database layer. That's what the CDS can do. So that's DQL part of the CDS. What else CDS can do? It can do DCL, data control language. Data control language means you can control the data, means access of the data can be controlled with the help of data control language. So in this, basically we will say, hey, if a manager is only in US, he or she will be able to see the list of sales orders created in US. Though it's a big ERP system, all the different sales orders are stored in the system across the globe, but here it will only can access the US related sales orders in their particular stores. Or an employee can see all the personal contact information of other employees who belongs to the same team. That's called DCL, data control language. All right, it's called data control language, or so called DCL. Okay, so that's what you will be doing in the step number 3, data control language you will use. And for that we have also something called grant and revoke. This is what also CDS can do for you. All right, so DDL, DQL and DCL. Then expression, of course that comes under query only, but you can also write expression, DEL, data expression language. So you can write now complex expressions inside CDS, like example can be case statement and stuff like that. So that's what you can do using CDS also. Of course we will be exploring them more again. Some of these examples we have already explored in ABAP on HANA classes, but we will be exploring a lot of them over here. So last class many of you were asking Anubhav, if there is a restricted ABAP, this was the major question in last class, if the ABAP language has is so restricted in cloud platform, you saw the many things were not supported in cloud platform, right? Then how do we develop, Anubhav? This was the major question. How will we develop? Okay, so the thing is, guys, I would answer it in a little bit another non-technical way. You should not look at what you don't have, rather look at what you have, right? Rather look at what you have CDS concept with you. That's so powerful actually. So let's take our use case. We want to design our today's class. So this is completely scenario driven training. We will have lots of use cases, we will take it, and one by one these use cases will keep on solving. So in this first use case, we need to design a set of database tables to create products, customers, sales orders, and line items in the cloud. So suppose your company is looking forward for a custom solution where they want to create customers, products, sales orders, and line items. And this data they want to store in the cloud. Okay. It's a completely new solution which remains in the cloud only. It has nothing to do with ECC. Suppose your company only take SAP Cloud Platform subscription, did not buy any S4 or ECC, they want to build on their own, but they only have ABAP developers. So how do we build it, right? An ABAP developer can easily build a custom solution. Remember the days when you used to create those Z tables, right? You used to create Z tables in SE11. When we attended our ABAP training in life, we create Z table, then we fill the table, then we expose the data from the table using select query and report program, then we do ALV report, then we do interactive report. Remember that time? Similar to that, now here we are going to design our tables from scratch. So a quick basics for database tables in ABAP system or in any system. A database table consists of records and columns. It's a two-dimension structures, and always there is always a primary key column. So primary key is nothing but a column or combination of column which can define a record uniquely. For example, if I take simple table for business partner, so you will have a business partner ID, which is going to be the primary key. Then you will have the name, city, country, and so long like that. So business partner ID uniquely defines every record here. You can identify record uniquely with the help of this primary key. Remember, primary key is a column or combination of column. Interview question is how many primary keys can exist in a table. Your answer sometime can be many. Guys, never, ever. Primary key is always one. Understand the role here. It can be one column or combination of column that makes your primary key. So it's not two primary keys here. Primary key is only one. But this time the primary key is a composite primary key because it is including multiple columns. I hope this definition is clear from interview point of view for everyone. What is primary key and how many primary keys can exist in a table? It can only and only be one primary key. So now we want to design a table for products, customers, sales orders, and line items. So that is what we want to design, our demo data tables. We will fill these tables with some data, and then we will be creating something on top of this. Basically, CDS views we will be creating to expose this data out. Now, another question is when you create a table, you define these columns in the table. Now, each column of the table typically has something called a data element. So let's say city column, this will have a data element, and a data element then usage also something called a domain. So data element, usage, a domain. So this is the typical flow. A quick repeat for those who are not remembering too much of ABAP. For them, I'm just quickly repeating this. Of course, as an ABAP developer, you must be aware of this concept, but just a quick repeat to connect the whole pieces. Now, data element is nothing but semantics of the field. It semantically define a field. What is the purpose of the field? Basically, in simple layman language, the purpose. What is the purpose of the field? For example, in your company, you have a city field in permanent address. So you will say city will store, it will help you to store and complete the address of an employee. That's the purpose, right? That's a purpose. Suppose you want to plan your travel. So you will have two dates, from date and to date. Both are technically date, but one is from date, another is to date. So how many data elements you will create? You will create two data elements, because one is from date, one is to date. Semantically both are different. Are you clear? They are semantically different. Am I clear, everybody? They are semantically different. Now comes to the domain. Domain is the technical attribute of a field. Technical property of a field. So if you look at, this is basically the data types. Okay, main purpose is data types. Of course, there is a lot you can do, like fixed values, check table. We can do a lot of the other stuff, but this is typically your data types. So if again taking example from date and to date, both are technically dates. So you will create only one domain for dates data type, okay, which is of type dates, and then on top you create two data elements. One is from date and one is to date, and both of these data elements will reuse this dates domain. Is that clear, everybody? Any questions on data element and domain? Anyone? Are you clear what is a data element and what is a domain and what is a field and what is a table? I hope you're all clear. So we can get started now and create our first table in ABAP on cloud, a custom table which will be storing the data. All right, let's get started then. So I'll straight away go back to the system, the package, as you all know, ZATS00. And as you can see, none of you have created any package in this system. I'm not sure if you created, but we discussed to have a naming convention, ZATS underscore 000102 and so on. All right, that's what we discussed. Anyway, let's go ahead and see that now. So now what I'm going to do is I will go ahead and create our data element first of all. So I want a database table which has IDs, and for each of these IDs I need a primary key data type. So that's what I will be creating, a data element and a domain. I will not create data element and domain for every single table. All right, I will not do that. I will just create one data element, one domain. Of course, when you are designing, you can create your own multiple data elements and domain. Just to showcase you, I'll create only one. So right click here on our package. So this is our package. I'm going to right click here, say new, other ABAP repository objects, and let's create a data element. And you can see here it's available. Awesome. So now I hope you guys from today's class onwards we start understanding what we can do, what we cannot do. So focus on what you have. Now I say Z ATS underscore data element underscore 00 underscore data element, and this is for my primary key IDs. All right, so that's the name I'm keeping, and I say um, data element for IDs. Okay, that's the first data element. DE stands for data element. I just click on finish. That's a naming convention which we are following. So when you are developing, you develop ZATS 01, 02, 03, and so on. Now I say it says me that the domain is not specified. So either you can give domain or you can directly give your data types also over here. You see, there is a possibility to give data types directly without giving a domain. But now we want to create a domain. Okay, so let's choose the domain. So either you can choose any predefined types directly here, or you can create a domain. It's a good practice to create domain. So let's create a domain which can store 32 character random ID. That is going to be my primary key for every table. We will do a GUID based design. Now those who don't understand what is a GUID based design, I would strongly recommend you to please watch this particular video on Anubhav learning series. Let's go to Anubhav learning series and please go ahead and try Anubhav learning series out there. So if we just go back to Anubhav learning series here there's a video called Simplified DB's Design on S4 for Fiori app. Okay, that's what it is. So that's the video. Please watch this particular video. It's important so that you can understand what does it mean. So now just quickly we'll put you the link of this video to understand, make you understand the GUID based design benefit. So now let's give a data element, sorry, domain name. So I'm going to create one, zats underscore 00 underscore domain, domain underscore id. Want to create an id domain, press enter, and now I can just say browse. So the system doesn't find this, you see, it's not available. So of course we need to create. Then you click on this type name, and now you see it's asking me to create a new domain. Awesome. So I say domain for storing id, and of course my package, but it's not showing here because it's not a S4 system, remember. All right, it's the ABAP layer, ABAP platform. The land one was part of ABAP platform basis layer. How can you check in your typical system? So maybe if I go back to my um, transactional real S4 system, you can just go to S4 system, just connect here. This is my on-premise system, just to demonstrate, make you understand more clear. So I go to my on-premise system. This is S4 now, and if you search here CRMD and then you do star and F4, you will find the list of data elements which SAP offering. See, but none of them are offered there because it's not an S4 system. It's just about platform. But now if you just check the land one, it's actually available here. But if you just quickly go and check the attributes, you can see it's part of this package. I double click on the package, and now you see this package is super package belongs to basis. So something which is part of basis is available, which is not part of basis is not available. Does that answer your question? And yet it is completely subjected to what they allow to you to use or what they don't allow you to use. So you need to be you need to keep checking the syntax if this allowed or not allowed, because just now you saw uzdit was not allowed to be used. However, I then use timestamp. So you should focus what you have, not what you don't have. All right, so that was one
Yeah,
question.
I just asked this because especially for above CDS using table function, right? So
Correct.
that time I thought of using standard elements, but it's not allowing me to use. So
Exactly. So certain things it won't allow you to use actually. That's a restriction. And maybe some of these restrictions are pertaining to trial only, because trial is for your experience with ABAP on cloud. Please remember, when your company buy a real productive SAP system for real usage to build a solution, some of these restrictions won't be there. For example, if you see here all the packages we are going to create in the under the trial package, under the local package. But when your company buy a subscription, probably this won't have be there. You will have to create your own package right away in the root package. You can do that. But right now, everybody who are developing, they are all creating under Z local. The Z local, it has to be a sub package under Z local currently, which you're developing in. This is a trial system. Remember, certain things are even not allowed here in trial. Okay, so this is how we need to adapt ourselves to the platform. As last class, many of you had question about how do we do that, how do we build a solution here. Then if there are so many restrictions, you see we are able to do that. And as and when I progress, you will see we will be able to do a lot. We will be able to do a lot in this environment. But that's something which is just a matter of time, when as and when I progress and show you those building those custom solutions which we can build end to end in cloud platform without any HANA access knowledge, without any Java knowledge. Purely with your ABAP skill, you can build custom solutions right into the cloud platform which are native to the cloud. Yes guys, native to the cloud. And you can mesmerize your user with ABAP on cloud. All right, what is the difference between string and character? String is always minimum value is 256 characters, and the character maximum value is 256. So character जहाँ पे character खत्म होता है वहां से string start होता है. So character maximum 256 characters. String, even beyond that, if you want to store large data, you go with string, and then minimum is 256 for string. Okay, so that's about the data type. I just save this, activate. So our table is active now. Let's create another table. Now you must wonder, will the creation of table will be so easy in life? I've never thought about it. Do you know the creation of table, how easy it is in ABAP, in cloud, and also with ADT? It's just a copy paste, you know. I want to create another table. I just copy this file. It's a file actually. It's a file. Copy this file, paste this again. And you see, it's asking me the name of the file, new file which you want to copy and create. I say I want to create a product file. I want to create a product table. So easy, guys. Just use product. Next. And now that's it. Your table is ready. Awesome. See how easy it is to create a table here in ABAP Cloud with the ADT concept, isn't it? Earlier you used to go and all the settings and all that hell lot of stuff you got to write to create a table. Now it's so easy here just to make a copy and paste and the table is ready. All right, now coming to the primary key, it's product ID. It's going to be again referring to my ID there, and then comes is my product name, then comes is product category, and then comes is maybe the price, currency, and how much discount I want to offer. Let's correct the data elements and data types properly. So client is okay, this one is okay, ID is fine, name okay, let me just keep the name abap.care. Just keep it name as maybe 80 characters or maybe 20 characters, or yeah, 100 characters is fine. For category we will keep is category 80. For price it's going to be abap.currency type. It's an amount field, so it should be currency with decimal 10 and 2. 52 itself is enough, so not needed. And then you will have a currency key field, abap.cuky. You all know the concepts of abap. Whenever we create a currency field, it's mandatory to specify currency key. And you see it's giving me an error because it's now not able to find for the price which is the currency field it has to refer. Suppose you have two currency field, currency and currency one. Now ABAP is confused. ABAP doesn't know that which of these currency field is going to represent the currency for this price, right? So you have to tell it via annotation. So I'll say annotation at the rate semantics dot amount control space currency code, and now you just have to specify inside the single quote the currency code field. Which is the field? Is it currency 2 which is going to hold the currency for this price, or is it the currency field which is going to hold the price for the currency for this price value? So I choose this one. Yeah, and guess what, my error of course will go away. Just remove the currency too. Okay, so this is my database table which is ready. Let's change the description quickly on the top. I say products table, and it's as easy as creating a table like this. Awesome, let's activate this up. Okay, superb, we are done. Now in the next step, oh my god, I'm so sorry. Sorry, thank you. Above dot, and now just choose it integer one maybe, and let's activate. Awesome, got activated. So this is my table. We have changed and adapted our table accordingly, and our second table is ready. Let's create the third one. We'll go a little faster now. It's something which you now already know, so don't want to spend too much of time doing the same stuff. Let's create a sales order table this time. It's going to be sales order table, and it's a SO table client field, and I will have order ID. It's again going to be the primary key of type Z data element ID which we created, and you see, remember, it's not null. Okay, now next comes is order number. We're going to keep it as maybe integer 4. Just do abap dot control space, and you can see the list, and I'll say integer 4. Then the next one comes is our buyer. Now here is the small catch. So buyer is going to be a foreign key relationship with my business partner table. So we created already business partner here. So its primary key BP ID is going to link here with the buyer. So I'm not going to store every customer name here. I'm going to create a foreign key relationship to basically go ahead and check this buyer ID into the another system. So first of all, its data element is same. So we'll choose the same data element for ID. That's a data element for it. And I will say buyer cannot be kept as null. Okay, so don't think that this is it's a becoming a primary key. Remember, primary key is a unique and not null constraint. So if you put key and not null, that becomes the primary key. And in our case, all are composite primary key with the client field. All right, and now here this buyer means when somebody creating an order, it has to belong to a customer. You cannot create an order with an empty customer. That's why I'm keeping not null, because the moment an insert fires on this table, if somebody not passing me the customer ID, then it has to fail the constraint and it has to give me an implicit error. Do you all agree? Why we are keeping not null? Why not the key? Because buyer is not a primary key. Buyer is not part of primary key. It's basically just not null. Somebody creating, I want to mandatorily pass the buyer ID. That's why. Now I will say with foreign key, and I have to give the cardinality of the foreign key here. So we have to say with foreign key and cardinality, which means on this table, sales order table, I can have either zero or multiple records. So sales order table can have zero or multiple records, but they all will belong to exactly one record in the foreign key table. Sorry, in the check table. So here you will have only one entry for this BPID table. In the business partner table, you will have only one entry for BPID, and corresponding to that one entry in the check table, you can have zero or multiple sales orders in the system. So that's the foreign key relationship and along with the cardinality. And now I'll put ZATS00, our table name business partner. So it's we are actually creating a foreign key where what is the relationship based on? It's based on business partner ID for this table. It's going to compare with my buyer ID of current table. That's what I'm going to do. So my current table ZATS00 sales order dot buyer. That's what we are doing. Awesome, guys. That's a foreign key relationship. Superb. That's how we do that in the CDS concept. And now we will just put gross amount, which is again of type abap.curr, and then we will say currency code abap.cuky currency key, and then we will put include structure. How can we forget you? ZATS underscore 00, just two control space. You're gonna see all the list of structures. Admin data is I'm interested, and I included that here. I don't have to redo it again and again. It's giving me a design time error. Of course, this is again a currency field. First of all, I've not specified here the data element size 52, or maybe just keep it 10.2. And then we have to specify semantic annotation dot currency code. What is going to represent my currency code is this one. This field is going to represent my currency code. And now, awesome, the moment I say look at here, it has also generated another annotation to say whether you, when you are inserting, do you want to apply a screen check on foreign key or not. I say no, not right now, false it. Just okay. Let's activate our sales order table. Awesome, guys. Step by step, line by line, no copy paste of code. I'm going to share this code with all of you in this notepad file. This will be available like this, and then you can go ahead and replicate this in your package accordingly. Remember, you just have to replace 00 with with your number, whatever, but don't blindly replace all zeros. You see, this 00 will also get replaced, so be careful. Just carefully replace, maybe you can replace ZATS underscore 00 completely with ZATS underscore 0102 whatsoever. That will be a perfect replacement. Just replace, your file will be ready, and then you can also generate the artifacts in the system accordingly. Let's create the items table. Finally, I'm going to copy the sales order table, paste it again, and this is going to be our items table SOI. And now let's put here the primary key as item ID, abap dot sorry, ZATS 00 data element for ID not null. This is my primary key, composite primary key, and order ID is not going to be primary key. It's just going to be not null. But now this has a foreign key relationship similar to what we just did there between the product and this. So you can also say when I'm inserting it, you can probably check it. You can do a foreign key, but I don't want to do it. I want to keep it loose coupling. I just want to keep order ID not null. But now it's time to add product. Yeah. So maybe just add product here. So just simply replace product and of type data element, but now just check in the product table instead of BP table. So product relationship. So that's our item with product, and it's gonna check with the product ID. Yes. So you see, code completion is always be very helpful for you. So we have client item ID, order ID, which product customer has bought. Now what was the price customer paid for this product? So that's your amount. This is what the price they paid for this. And you see guys, when I copied it, system automatically adapted these things also. You see, SOI automatically is putting sales order items. Just change this one here. And now we also include the quantity field. You all know the currency and quantity field are only the special two types of data types we need, which needs units and currency key accordingly. So let's put quantity is of type ABAP quan. Yeah, and I'll say it's of, let's say, 2 1. And then we will have unit of measurement, UOM, and let's say length is 2 for UOM. And of course you have to also specify this annotation for semantics, which what it represents the unit of measurement for this quantity. So I say semantics dot unit of measure, and then I'll say UOM. Save this up. Superb, it automatically does a pretty printer for you. And now everything looks super for items table. Let's activate that. Amazing, we have got our items table. It's now guys to fill the data in these tables. Yes, how do you test them? How do you create CDS view on this? How do you test your CDS view? Even you create a CDS view, how will it get the data? So it's time for me to write some quick ABAP code. As a ABAPer, real ABAPer comes out of me, and he will write an ABAP code which is going to auto generate some random data inside the system. Yes guys, auto generate some random data inside the system. We're going to do that. Let's go ahead and see that in action. So I'm going to just close some of these files, just keep our database tables open so that we can just have a quick look if it's filling or not. So I will write a new program. So I'm going to right click here, say new above class. Remember, you can't write a report here. Focus on what you have. That's the guru mantra here. Focus on what you have. What you don't have, don't focus on that. You may be feeling the luxury of ABAP system in the past with SAP GUI. That luxury, you don't have it here, but still you got to get the solution built, right? How do you do that? So in spite of all the limitation, you got to find out the ways to crack it and build it. And that's what we did today. I hope most of you are getting a feel now. Yes, exactly, this is what something I did when I learned ABAP in the initial days of my career. So it's exactly same thing you're doing now on cloud. This is all cloud, native cloud solution which you're building. All right, come here 00, and I will say fill data. So this is going to be a randomizer to prepare data in my system, and just gonna say next. As you all know, last class also we saw the hello world kind of program where we just added an interface for creating a void main kind of stuff. So we just add that interface again, interface ief underscore oo abap run class run. And now just going to implement the method. The only method which it offers is a void main method kind of thing. I'm sure it will take a little bit of time for all of you to adjust to this new programming paradigm. It's not so straightforward that you get adjusted in one day, but that's okay. It takes time, but that's fine. All right, now let me also create a reusable method inside, maybe a private method. I will say fill master data. Just creating this method, private method. I'm going to declare this method. And now I'm going to call this fill master data the moment I enter. So basically I'm modularizing our code, complete code I'm modularizing. And I'll also say flush. So you see I'm modularizing everything out here. Create another method called flush. So every time I run this class, I want to flush out my tables. I want to make it absolute clear. So I say delete from my business partner table, my product table, my sales order table, and my items table. So I'm just flushing them out actually. All right, that's what we're doing. Let's give you okay. So now next is fill master data. So master data is your business partner and your product, right? That's your master data. So let's go ahead and try to write some logic to fill this. So we will be using ABAP value expression to prepare an internal table to fill our master data. So let me declare that data LT business partner type table of. So pure ABAP guys, pure ABAP in cloud actually. Let me double click here to make it bigger. So now you see, you can see a better view. And our table name is ZATS underscore 00 underscore business partner. And master data also includes products. Code completion helps you here. And now I'm gonna fill one record for now guys. One record only. एक record भरेंगे. We will just fill one record. So append value hash. This is called value expression. We have learned it also in our core ABAP, ABAP on HANA classes. So basically you don't have to create a separate work area to fill that and then move the data. You can directly create a runtime. The memory, the memory will be allocated, data will be kept here, and that will be moving to the database table. So value hash expression, very powerful. And I'm going to add BPID. So first is going to be my BPID. So we need to now generate random IDs because it's a character 32 character random number. So we need to call SAP system to please create me a random ID. For that, there's a built-in class in SAP system, UUID class. It's called UUID factory. We're just going to call that. And now I will say, hey, can you please generate me a random number? Char 32 character UUID, can you generate for me? Okay, please do that. Okay, so now it's not convert, it's create 32 character UUID. Yes, that's step number one. BPID is done. Next is gonna be your BP role. And now I will just put right now hard coded as 01. This is going to be my BP role. Company name, trainings. Then we'll put city. Then we'll put here country, India, and just put street. I just put ring road. I was writing like a Japanese street, not really needed. Okay, region is Asia Pacific Japan. That's my data. So looks like perfect. All my fields 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 fields. Are we having 7 fields? Let me cross check. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. Awesome, match to match. and then append this to my LTBP table. So that's my first record. May just insert two records, guys. Just come down and return another record. Two records I've inserted for products. Now it's time to insert two records for products also. So two records for business partner, two records for products I will be inserting. LT product. For product, okay, let's fill this one. This one is, I'm just going to put, let's say, SAP. Okay, now let's put here product ID. Then we have product category, price, currency, and discount. So that's my product table. And let's fill in some data. 2% discount, currency is INR, price is, let's say,
Hi, Anubhav.
yes, please.
Instead of hard coding and filling this data, can we read the data from a text file or an Excel file?
No, that front-end GUI
Just
upload
a,
is not allowed. Front-end
okay.
GUI upload is not allowed. None of the GUI functions which use SAP GUI front-end services works here. That's why we have to go with this way. Of course, in real world, will you fill the data like this? No, this is just for testing. For testing, we are filling this. You will not fill the data real time like this. You will basically build an app, Fury app, which we will be doing soon. But just for demonstration purpose and to make you aware about these things, limitations and capabilities which you can do, make your ABAP coding little more comfortable with the system. I'm doing this activity. Okay, that's the only reason I'm doing this activity. All right, name of the product, it's a supersonic laptop. GUI upload doesn't work here, guys. You cannot do that. All right, then we have the second product coming out here. So let's copy this. So don't worry, this file I'll give it to you. It makes your life much easier. You don't have to do this much hard work. I've already done it for you. I've spent amount of time to prepare this file. Okay, awesome. So this is done. This is done. Let's inject the data in our database tables. It's pure cloud. Insert Z ATS 00 BP from table LTBP. And now to the product. So this is going to make your ABAP coding very strong, guys. Let's test it step by step, line by line. I'm going to test this up, save this up. We are calling it correct. Let's activate, and got activated. Awesome. Execute. F9 is the key to execute. I just did F9. Go back to BP table, execute. Not came, did not came, guys. Something is wrong. Runtime error object, I'm responsible for this. Calculation field defined too small, less than a minute ago. See the runtime error? There's a dump coming. If you open this, you can see it here. SAP is opening this dump sheet here for you, and you can see this runtime error caused by me. All right, this seems to be an issue with our me character which we had kept. Calculation field defined too small. Which line is dumping? This is our complete dump here, you can see. And here the calculation field is too small. Which field? Category name, product ID. So which of the field is causing this issue? Let's check it out. So maybe this is definitely because of our field, guys. One of the field is too small with respect to its name. currency 52, currency key, discount is integer 1. Seems to be all good. Why it's giving this error in the product table? Product table has an issue. So name, category, price. Let me change this to maybe 500 or 200. Let's try. Not sure if that's the issue. Let's give a try. This discount seems to be fine. Name is okay. Product ID, category is also okay. Let's try again. So there is this field length problem. Some problem is happening, I think, with the field length, guys. So system is unable to inject the data in our database table, and that's causing a dump. All right. And you will also get a notification for the dump easily right here. So I'm just going to refresh this. Is it dumping again? Let me check. No, don't think so. Till now I didn't get notification, which means it has now inserted. Possibly execute. Voila, record comes when you do things right. Super. Business partner injected product. There you go. Product is also injected. Amazing. So it's a problem with the length of my product pricing. I think it's not taking maybe more than 1,000 or something. We can enhance it, of course. You can go to product ID. This price field here is 5,2. Okay, so you can of course go and change this to 10,2 or 15,2. That's maybe a different story altogether. So maybe just keep it maybe 5,2 itself. That's okay to go ahead with. And now let's go ahead and now fill our other table, sales order and items table. So I want to create a randomizer. Randomizer means I want to create a random sales order. Let's say 20, 30, 40 sales orders I want it, and I want to randomize it. So for that, now I will just create another method, or maybe we can do it right away here itself, or maybe just say me fill transaction data. That's my step number 3. Step by step, line by line, guys. Let's fill this transaction data. And now we're going to create a randomizer. So first of all, let me select these tables once again, product and BP, into my tables. So we will be selecting these into internal table. Select a star from this into, I'm going to declare table BP, my custom table product. And now, okay, just declare this on the top. So this will make your ABAP coding very strong actually in the cloud. This is where you get first glimpse of all the things which are happening around you. Yeah. Okay, select, I would say select star into table. I forgot table, guys. Table. It's gonna be internal table in which it's gonna select all the records which we just inserted. Two records we inserted just now. And now I will use something called a randomizer. So in ABAP, SAP is also offering you a random object creator. So that's an OOPS based random object created. So I will say, oh, random object type ref to CL ABAP random init. This is a class which SAP is offering. Integer random integer I want, so that's why random init. And I say n type number. This is gonna be, then I will also create a seed type I. And now what we will do is we will go ahead and say seed is equals to CL ABAP random seed. We just create a seed object, so this will give me a seed. And now I will just say CL ABAP random init class, and I will say create me a random number. Shift enter to generate this code. And now you can pass a seed minimum maximum number, receive finally a number of which is a random number. So you're going to get a random number object actually. and this object we will be using, and then we'll just pass seed, and I want a random number between 1 to, let's say, 2 right now, because we have two records in purchase order, sorry, in products, and 2 records in business partner. So between 1 and 2, give me random numbers. All right, and now watch out the magic. We have got this random object. Every time you need a random number, use this random object and say get next, get next, get next. Every time it will give you random number. All right, now what I will do is I will create a quick loop, and that loop will help me to inject or create a random sales order. So I say do 10 times and do. So I want to create 10 sales order. So this outer loop is to create sales order header records, and then I will have an inner loop do 2 times to create 2 items inside each sales order. Okay. So create 2 items inside each sales order and create 10 orders. So total 20 line item records and 10 header records it should create at the end of the day. Yeah, that's what we want. I will also create a data type for my timestamp field, LV date, create a date type timestamp as, and then I will just get also the timestamp quickly here. So get timestamp for, yeah, this is how we get timestamp, so that we can use this timestamp to inject in our random data. Now come here, let's start creating an order number. So I will just declare an order number also on the top. We need so many variables. LV order ID, type Z, ETS 00, and then we have this data element for ID. We want to create a new order ID. So let's pass this, and same UUID class. So we're creating a random order ID to begin with, and now what I will do is I will just get a random number. Okay, so we will just get a random business partner ID. So I say read table LT business partner into data LSBP index, and here I will pass a random number. So I just derive the random number n, and I will say my random object get next. So basically every time I'm going to get random business partner, and based on that random business partner number, I'm going to get a business partner data. So every time a new order is creating, it's going to get random. Even I don't know what combination it will produce. So ultimately, basically, it should prepare the test data for us. That's what we're trying to achieve here. We want to produce sample demo test data. That's what we want to do. Now we will just append the values. So we will just inject the sales order header record. So similar to this line, append value hash, I will come here, and this time it's going to be LT sales order table. Let's declare them on the top for sales order and items. So we are just preparing here data and making our ABAP coding little more strong to get you comfortable with the environment. This you will something not do it in your productive scenario, or maybe you would like to do it while you're testing. This program you want to develop like this to prepare some test data in the system. Okay, it's going to boost my ABAP skills. All right, let's come down. So we are preparing this. Now we will have order ID, which we had just generated here, a new order ID. Just pass that here. We will pass order number, which is going to be this psi-index. Then we will pass who is the buyer of this order, and you just saw that we have produced a random buyer. We picked up a random buyer with randomization. We pass the buyer ID, then we pass the gross amount, and we can also take the gross amount with this random number n multiplied by 100. So a random gross amount will also be prepared in the sales order header. Then we will have currency. I just keep it hard coded INR. Then we will have created by. Who has created this? We will pass our SciU name. Created on. We will pass our timestamp field, which we just prepared, LV timestamp, LV date actually. Then we will have changed on and changed by. Similar to that, we will pass them. Okay, that's our header records. This is our header data. Then we will have our items data. So let's go back and do here items. In this, we will pass same order ID because now we're creating items. All right, and item ID is something which we will generate newly. Every primary key needs to be generated. So item ID I will generate automatically. Order ID will be the parent's record order ID, which we are anyway injecting. And then this will have product. Now product also same story. Let's create a random product pickup. So I'm going to randomly pick up a product here now from our internal table product. And we pass here ls product, pick a random product. Okay, and now this ls product we pass here with the product ID. It's ls prod actually. With product ID we pass this, and now the price is going to be, we will be using again a random number. Let's get a random number. Just get that random number here again, and this random number I will just probably take it as a quantity, and then this only I will pass it as quantity, and I pass this random number in quantity, and then I will say unit of measurement is pieces. Then we will have the amount is equals to this random number, which is the quantity, multiply by price, multiply by what product price it is. So this product multiply by its price. And then we have currency, we just hard code as INR, created by, created on, changed by, changed on, insert in the items table. Superb. So that's your random, complete random solution. It's going to create 10 sales order with random combination. It's going to create 2 line item inside each of that sales order. Finally, the tables are prepared. Out of the do loop, just fire and inject, insert into your database table sales order from table LTSO. Similarly, insert in your items table. That's a perfect example. So now when we are coding, it doesn't even feel like we are coding in a cloud software, right? Oh, sorry. We are not even getting that feel that we are coding in cloud software. Just gives me a feel of SAP ABAP system only. All right, indeed it's real ABAP, and let's activate and let's see if we are able to get the data. So every time you run the first method, it calls a flush. It flushes all the data, inserts master data and then transaction data. Execute F9. Execution is complete. You can also put a write statement here actually. You can give some output that execution is complete, data is ready. I'm going to share this complete code with all of you. Don't worry about that. Just activate. And now just press F9. Execution completed. Watch out the data in the table. Let's go back and see it in action. So I'm going to go back straight away to sales order table. Execute. Areva! 10 sales orders. Amazing. Superb, guys. Superb. You see the random number, random buyer IDs have been picked up. Awesome. Let's look at the items. You should have 20 items indeed. Areva, 20 records pertaining to each sales order. There are two records of items got created with random quantities, with random amount, with random price. Everything is random. This is your sample demo data. On top of it, you can start building now things and testing things. Super. What an example, Anubhav. Pure classical ABAP coding. Classical ABAP coding, guys. What a classic example of ABAP coding. This is going to strong your ABAP coding, guys. Please try out yourself this randomization. And now maybe I will give you a surprise gift from my side to all of you. I do a lot of hard work to bring things to you guys. Lot of hard work. Why I'm able to perform in my class is because I do awful lot of hard work to bring things to you. I have already prepared some good amount of data for you. Good amount of data which you guys can straight away consume it. And that file is available as part of our training blog. If you go to our training blog, in our training blog, you will find a file. Let me just quickly show you that. Just give me a second. Your screen will go for a pause. Go to the system and just show you the file. The file name is fill sample master data file. This is the file you will use, and you see I have already created so many business partners for you and so many products for you. Just scroll down this, take this demo data, copy as it is, copy kar lo. Okay, we have about 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 7 products. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 business part 8 business partner. So we can run our randomizer for 7 different combinations. Now gonna go back straight and simply replace this piece of code, paste it here. Voila, you see Gaming Monster Pro, all the data has come. We have got about 7 different combinations out here for you. 7 for products and 7 different combinations for the other thing. Of course, the price is going to create a problem. We're just going to reduce this because we know that this price is tricky enough. Just change it accordingly. All right, save this up and now activate this. You have it ready. If you make sure the column names you have selected properly, it's going to do miracle for you. And now I'm going to run this. F9, execution completed. Abhi jaake dekho. Go to product table. Oh wow. Okay, so I did a mistake. We need more random combinations, so we need to adapt our code. Current randomizer is giving data between 1 and 2 only. Let's make this limit to 7. Make this limit to 7. Now it's going to create more random combinations for you. Up to 1 to 7, it can pick any number and it can produce the data for us up to 1 to 7. I run it, done. I can go back to BP table, just show you the BP. So see there are about 8 BPs. You see, amazing sample demo data for you. And then we have products F8. You see sample product data for you. And then you go and check your random sales orders. Amazing, you see prices, gross amount is now different. Awesome. Look at the items, they're all different. If you look at the observe the product IDs, they're complete random combination of product IDs, completely random combinations. Somewhere you have 171 D4, somewhere you have some else number is changing. Of course you cannot see it here. Once I create CDS views in the next class onwards, you will start seeing the real power of this demo data which was just created. You see there are different amounts here. You see all are different calculations which are being carried out over here at this point of time. Hope you enjoyed this example of a randomizer for generating your test data. You can develop such an intelligent program yourself to also generate test data when you are building a solution for your customers by inspiring from the same ABAP report. And this can be a good test data for you because remember, you cannot do a GUI upload here from Excel sheet. Cannot do that. It's a one-time effort, but it's always going to help you to prepare the test data. With that, I'm done with today's class. Time for your questions. In case you don't have questions, we can wrap up today's session. Please go ahead with your questions.
Uh, Anubhav, since this is fully of ABAP codes and it is on the cloud, there is no restriction on the new syntaxes or the old syntaxes. Like write statement is not allowed, or export or import statements are not allowed, like that.
Correct. There are restrictions, and I am so sorry. I could not recall. I did not remember last class. I promised you I'll show you next class. I'm so sorry. I missed out completely. Let me check and find out by next class for sure. I'm noting it down in my action items, and I will show you what are all the statements which are allowed and not allowed. You can get that full list actually. So that I'll show you in the next class. I'll take it as an action item. I'll note it down this time. There's a question in the chat window.
Okay.
How CDS in ABAP on cloud platform different from CDS and S4 HANA? Same, ditto same. We will see that in next class. We will see the CDS views in next class. The way we practice in ABAP on HANA system, same way we will be able to do it here. Same. We will see that. Today we saw CDS flavor of DDL. We saw which flavor of CDS today? DDL, data definition language. We defined our data using CDS concept, which nobody would have ever shown you that it's possible to create tables using CDS syntax. We saw that today. In next class, we will learn DQL, data query language actually. That's what we will be doing. Step by step, line by line. We're gonna do a quick refresher for CDS views in our next session. And then we will move to the RESTful ABAP programming. Okay.
Hello, Anubhav. One question I have. So in the last class, you said that in S4 HANA Cloud, we cannot use ABAP, right?
We can use ABAP, but it's very restricted to body implementation. Let me show you an example. Just go back here to my launchpad. So this is again out of context question, but just since I know the answer, I'm telling you. Okay. So don't take it literally that I'll start teaching these concepts. These are covered anyway in my ABAP, sorry, S4 HANA Cloud extension course, not covered here. But remember, this is something which just for extra information, since you asked this question, I'm telling you. So this is my, imagine, it's an OP system, but imagine this is my S4 cloud system. In S4 cloud system, first golden rule or first bottom line, you don't have SAP GUI access. So you can't write ABAP code. You only have browser. In the browser, they will show you the apps, you can run them. Now, you come to this option called extensibility, which is called in-app extensibility in S4 HANA Cloud. Okay, so imagine this is S4 HANA Cloud system, though it's an OP, but it's a cloud system, and then you will find an option called extensibility. Let me just check that. I have enabled it a couple of days back. If it is, yeah, it's there. Yeah. Okay. So this is the option. And now if you see here, we have something called custom fields and custom logic app. This is there in S4 Cloud also. Click on this. And if you come to the custom logic tab, okay, here actually you can write a body implementation. I've written it already, you see, sales document, populate custom fields for sales order header. So there's a body which you can implement, and you can write an ABAP code in the browser. But this is not ABAP on cloud. This is actually a kind of extension editor which supports ABAP programming for S4 HANA Cloud. So here you can write ABAP related stuff. Again, very limited statements you can use there, not extensively everything. You cannot use extensively everything. Very limited. For example, you can't do DML here. You cannot do insert, update, delete. Only select queries are allowed in this. All right. So, but if you go back to our example today, what we did insert also. It worked. Yeah, so that's the main difference. Here you are only allowed to do body implementation, no custom programs of your choice, but you are able to do a ABAP on cloud custom program of your choice. Here you are not able to do insert, update, delete. DMLs are not supported, only queries are supported. But in ABAP on cloud you can do DML, all DML. In fact, you can do DDL. We saw that today. We could create a database table using CDS syntax today in the ABAP on cloud. But here it's very limited functionality, only pertaining to the scope of the body implementation. With ABAP programming, you can do that. So this is S4 HANA Cloud custom logic application. Other than this place, there is no other place you can write ABAP code in S4 HANA Cloud. So now question comes, how do I build my own solutions from scratch? That's where the ABAP on Cloud is coming into picture to build side-by-side extension.
So if we need to create a new program, then we have to go for ABAP on cloud.
ABAP
We cannot use SP.
clapping for you for this. You understood today one of the important doubt, you have solved it today. Likewise, this we will keep solving your doubts. I understand your curiosity and your doubts, which are very valid. Anubhav, it's very confusing. Can we do that? Can we do this? Can we do this? Trust me, you will understand a very good knowledge in this. At the end of this course, you'll be able to do a lot of good stuff actually in your system, practical system. Okay.
But only CDS you're saying it's the same. It's the same in ABAP on cloud and S4HANA cloud. You're saying CDS is the same.
Yes,
If
yes.
there's
Just
no
hold on, getting an important call. Hey, Vishali.
only CDS you're saying it's the same. It's S4HANA cloud
CDS
and
view
ABAP on cloud.
concept, yes, CDS as a concept is same, guys. You can apply that anywhere, be it on ABAP on HANA, or be it on S4 HANA, or be it on ABAP on cloud. The concept is same. Concept you can apply, and that's what exactly our next chapter is. In tomorrow's class, I will show you those capabilities which you tried out in S4 HANA course, in ABAP on HANA course. You can actually do that in ABAP on cloud. There's no restriction there for you with our custom tables which we built today. So the whole essence of generating this demo data was actually to showcase you the capabilities of CDS in the next class. So next class, then I will be building CDS views on top of these database tables, which we build it on our own. Yeah, we will be doing that actually. That time will be more, even more clear for you. And then we will move to RESTful ABAP programming language, where you have little bit new terminologies like behavior definition, behavior implementation, service binding, service definition, Fury app generation, cloud foundry concept, and a lot of these stuff which is completely new in the system. Currently, I was also trying out to find out, is there any way I can demonstrate the ABAP Git to you? But actually, unfortunately, ABAP Git is not available right now in the trial. But let's see, by the time we complete our course, if somehow I can get some tips about the same, somehow SAP can enable that for us in this trial system, then I can also demonstrate ABAP on Git ABAP actually. Okay, cool. With that, it's a wrap on today's class. Catch you up tomorrow at the same time. Have a nice day and see you.